Hey, what's up guys? BoomTitanium here, doing a new video on the updated version of the StarCraft 2 map in the arcade mode called Era's Zombie Invasion. And recently there was a new update, just the beginning of this February. The author of the map, his name is Smith. I was actually playing a game with him where he put his intentions down in the chat, basically saying that he was going to be doing an update, and I hadn't got a chance to play it up until today. Well, the day that I'm recording this video. But I got to tell you guys, he has made a lot of changes on this. If you haven't played it in a while, it's definitely worth going and trying again. There's a whole new level of challenge to this map now. There seems to be a lot of changes that some of you may or may not like. So I'm going to go ahead and go over those right now. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and hit play and let you guys see some gameplay as I scroll around and show you some of the differences that they have. One of the main differences that really struck me as kind of odd is that Smith removed all of the unique units that used to be there for each of the separate countries. For example, Sweden, which is who I played in this game round, no longer has the Stockholm Sniper. And Russia no longer has streetlets or whatever, however you pronounce them, and also no longer has comrades, which a lot of people complain that the comrades were kind of an overpowered unit, but it did take some skill to use them. So I feel like it helped balance the game. Turkey no longer has janissaries, and what is this? The Spartans are no longer around. The followers of Anubis are no longer around. No country has unique units. All countries have the same exact units. So how do you what's the difference? Okay, so beyond that, what else is the difference? Well, there's a new game mechanic which I actually found semi useful, is this right here. Each country, as long as you defend the capital, will have a capital ability. You see right here where I'm going to have my mouse over it for a second, but every country has an ability like this. This is Sweden's. Their ability is actually really useful for whenever a boss attack comes out. It automatically heals all allied units on the map, which is awesome, and it does it very well. So let's take a look and see what else other capitals have. We're going to take a look at Russia here. They have this Time Warp. Slows the game down for all enemy units down for 10 seconds. That's pretty awesome. That is pretty awesome. Let's see. I haven't gotten a chance to play with all of the countries since the new update, so I don't know them by heart yet. But I will definitely scroll around and look. It looks like France has raised taxes. That's pretty awesome. Let's see. Let's take a look and see what the other ones are. It looks like, okay, Wrath of the Pope for Italy. That I actually saw this in action in this game, and I'm going to fast forward it and probably do a couple videos on this new update so that way you guys can see. But this is a really good ability, and it is very you know what it actually does, in my opinion, it makes it so that way the players who normally, the countries, not the players, but the countries that normally could be bypassed, there's a little bit more value to them, especially the countries that didn't have very good units to begin with, or the units kind of fell off towards the end of the game. Let's see, like janissaries or whatever. I mean, certain units just didn't work that great. Let's take a look at Turkey. Fortify only affects their own ability. And that's another thing. Some of the abilities affect the whole map. Some of the abilities only affect the country that they're in. So it kind of balances out a little bit, because you wouldn't want to have like this ability for the whole map. That'd be kind of cheesy. It would be broken. I mean, this person could just time it. Everybody could just time all their special abilities together and basically make all buildings and fortifications invincible for 20 seconds. And then I think the one for Greece, let me see if I find Greece, is some kind of Spartan ability. Each Spartan gains 5% damage and health from every nearby Spartan. I mean, if that was like a worldwide effect where military units gain 5% damage for each, I mean, that would just be ridiculous. So they did balance it pretty well. Smith did balance these new abilities pretty well. I gotta say, I do miss the old mechanics of having the similar, I mean, the separate units. Void Warp. What is this? Okay, teleports any visible location on the map. The followers of Anubis can call upon the powers of the void to shift entire cities through the void realm, allowing for city teleportation. That is just crazy. I've never even heard of anything like. I haven't got a chance. Now I want to play that just to see that done. But also, let's get off the topic of capital abilities, because you will get the chance to see in the following videos the capital abilities in action. I'll probably do a separate video on how to use the capital abilities and what they do. But the other major change is the bosses. A lot of the bosses have been changed. There are, like, the zombie bunker. I don't know if if you're watching this video, you probably have run into the zombie bunker before, but it was kind of like a passive spawning unit. It was something. It was just a boss that crawled across the map, having creep follow with it and spawned units. Now it's stronger, still spawns unit, but it also has cannons on top of it. I mean, it's like a tank, and it just totally tears stuff up. They also added the zombie commando boss, which is, in my opinion, a little bit overpowered. It does spawn later on in the game, but it is still very powerful, and is basically just a giant marine, zombified marine that just pretty much one hit kills everything. The Witch Queen, I actually have not seen the Witch Queen spawn, and if she did spawn, she got killed so fast I didn't notice it. So I'm not really sure what happened to the Witch Queen. Apparently she's still in the game, and Smith fixed her because he wanted her wings to show, and her wings wouldn't show before. There's just a lot of different changes like that with the bosses. Now, the other changes with the units, they did add this new unit right here, and I think that this unit is pivotal in the beginning of the game. It's a catapult. Now, I don't really like the fact that catapult can attack boss units. In some ways, I understand why you wouldn't do that, but this catapult can only attack buildings, other buildings, bunkers, zombie bunkers, not the boss bunker, but the actual death pits. These guys right here, death clusters is what they're called. But those catapults have a really long range. They deal a lot of damage. It's about, I think they start off with 60 damage, where all the other units start off with like 3 damage. And they are very pivotal to being able to hold off the spawning of those death clusters. I wonder if I already have some up here. Right now, what I have is just lined up with wizards. And they also buff the wizards, change the look of the wizards. You can see the wizards look a little bit different. They're holding a little book out in front of them and stuff like that. But the wizards deal a lot more splash damage in the way of chain lightning and different things like that. So they added a bunch of neat abilities to the wizards. The archers, in my mind, are pretty much useless just because the wizards are so much more powerful now than they used to be. Before, the wizards were a joke, but now the wizards attack much faster. They deal lots of splash damage, and I'm going to let you take a look and see how these wizards handle this whole group. Before, if you had a couple wizards, they might have not been able to handle this group as easily as this group of wizards does. You see that? I mean, it just goes right through them. Goes right through them. Awesome. And also, it looks like the wizards have some kind of a shield. They're able to do a magic shield ability, so they get a few more health points, which is nice. So I don't even bother with the archers, just because whenever I tried to get back on here and start playing a game, the first thing I did was the old strategy with the archers. And I put the archers on there, and they just got owned right away. And some people might have varying opinions on that, but really, with the wizards doing the chain lightning and the heavy damage towards multiple enemies where archers can only concentrate on one, definitely worth the extra 1 supply that the wizards cost over the archer, because as you see here, the archer is 8 wood, 4 gold, 2 supply. The wizard is the opposite. 4 wood, 8 gold, 3 supply. As far as the resources, they're opposite, and it's 1 more supply, but it's so much more worth it, because I feel like 1 wizard can deal more damage to more units than 2 archers. And then if you get 2 wizards versus 3 archers, the 2 wizards are going to just do better. I mean, that's just obvious to me. So definitely changed up my strategy on that. Started using more wizards. They also have almost the same range as an archer. They really have a long range compared to the wizards of the previous update. And like I said, what I'm going to do is, in this game, I'll let you see. Let's see if I can fast forward a little bit, drop our frame rate for a minute, and kind of fast forward and progress and see how these wizards do. But they really hold up. Look at that. I mean, they are just not letting anything by. As long as you build a nice maze. Now, this is one of my better mazes that I build. I mean, this really tears them up. They got to run all the way around just to get to my base. And I do leave my door open, so they do try to run around. and these wizards just light them up, man, and give me plenty of gold bounty from killing all these zombies. And then eventually what you'll see me do is put some catapults right here to get this. And that's just the kind of range they have. Those catapults, they will go ahead and hit this zombie death cluster from right here. It will do that very easily, and it'll just probably destroy that one too, and even these two right here, because that thing just has a ton of range, which is great. I love that it has that much range. We're going to take a break from that and see what else other people are doing. See, now this is Russia here, Sidewinder. He's a good player, and he seems to have found some success with using the archers. So maybe it's about the same. I'm not really sure. I prefer wizards personally. I think that the wizards in the new update, with all of their added abilities and different types of attacks that they have, with the shield, I mean that blue shield there, that is just awesome. They can take more damage, which is great. So if something does happen to get by, they're able to survive it. Let's take a look here and see how I'm doing. Other than that, there's really not much difference. There is the same exact upgrades. Things are pretty much the same in this new update. The only exception to that rule of everything being the same is the fact that you have all the same troops for every country. So it helps even it out a little bit. The countries still have their pros and cons, which is awesome. They should keep those. And the added thing of the capital ability. Now, the one thing that I don't like about this capital ability, and the one thing that I don't like about capitals at all, is once it gets destroyed, there's really no way for you to bring it back. Unless if you know how to bring the capital ability back, or bring back the capital income by building town halls or something like that, then I would really love to know. But to me, it's just a little bit ridiculous that they wouldn't allow you to make a new capital or something to that effect, so that way you can keep this capital ability. Because now it seems to me that you have to work together more. Before, if a border country fell, there's no big deal. Another country could go in there and wall it out, or just wall out that corresponding border with that country that fell, and you could probably still win the game. After playing about 20 rounds of this and consistently losing, I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that if you lose one of your border countries early, you are probably going to lose, period. You would have to have some really awesome players. And this game I did. This is the first game I actually won because I did have some awesome border playing countries. They all did a great job during this game, and they held them off, and they walled correctly. I'll take a look here. Let's see. Sidewinder is walling correctly. He's walling correctly. This is Slayer, and he's walling correctly. I actually like the way that he did this because it's kind of a maze, but it's a smaller maze. I wonder if you can incorporate more running back and forth in a maze like this with a smaller amount of area. I'm not sure though, but I do like the way that he got this maze going here. That's pretty awesome. And you can see he's got all his wizards up on this little raised platform, which is pretty neat. So he did a good job. I mean, all of the border players in this game did an excellent job, and that is more than ever going to have to be required for you to win. Because once these border countries go, that is it. It's game over. You're not going to be able to pull out a win, at least in my experience. And I've played, like I said, in the past few days since this new update came out, literally like 30, 40 games of this, and just have consistently lost over and over again because, one, it's a new update, so a lot of people don't know how to play yet, and two, it's a new update, so a lot of players that never really knew how to play are wanting to try it out, and three, because all the border countries just kept falling, and it makes it really difficult. So that is the key. That's the whole thing. That's the whole reason why I wanted to release this video, so you guys know it's pretty much the same thing as it always has been. It's a little bit more difficult because you have to have good players on the border country. Before, not so much. Now, it's like a requirement. You have to have the border countries doing a good job. And then you have to work together. You have to work together. You have to have the rear countries sending troops to help out and doing everything that you possibly can. That infighting thing, which happens so often, it was almost like Smith wanted it to be a part of the game. He's all but removed that as a beneficial part of the game. Before, you could probably kill your neighboring country, take over, do the work for them. No, not anymore. You can't do that. Just because the way that the game is structured now, there's no positives behind killing and wasting resources on an enemy nation or a player that you just don't agree with. And I lost a lot of games just because of that. And I'm so glad that this game, it kind of acted like they were going to start arguing and fighting over whatever stupid newbie reason that they wanted to fight and argue with, and then it stopped. And we all concentrated on fighting the zombies. And that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to get a good game together with some people with level-headedness that are going to be able to concentrate on the main objective, which is to wipe out the zombies. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this video short. Please like this video, subscribe to my feed. I'm going to be making more videos on this particular game mode and gaming in general. Make sure that you look at some of my other videos. I have some really fun videos that you can watch. I try to make them as entertaining as possible. I also have the Pac-Man challenge going on right now. I want to see who can get the best score on my website in the arcade section. Go to my website, www.apex gateway gateway.com, and click on the navigation button that says arcade. That way you can play some free-to-play games, little flash games that I have there, and take the Pac-Man challenge and comment either in the description of the Pac-Man challenge video, which you'll find on my channel, or comment on the comment section on the Pac-Man game, which you will be allowed to do. So I am very interested to see who can get the highest challenge. So go ahead and do that. Just a little fun thing that I want to do for all my viewers. And as always, have a great day.